All right, in terms of general meetings and operations of your Shade Tree Commission, you have certain basic functions. You have to adopt your budget, you got to comply with the budget rules and spending. Um, you should have your priorities are typically planting trees, maintaining trees, special projects. Make sure you comply with the Sunshine Law and Oprah. You should have an agenda for every meeting. You should be able to respond to citizens' complaints and requests, and um, and you should also have an annual Arbor Day program and adopt a community forestry plan. That has to be updated every 5 years. Even if I don't say that, if you get a plan approved, the state will be reminding you that it has to be updated every 5 years. And once you adopt the plan, follow the plan, comply with the plan. You know, I said to you earlier that you're fully exempt if you have a shade tree commission, that your community forestry plan is approved, you have the educational credits. But there's always going to be an exception to the rule. And there aren't any court decisions that have made the exception to the rule yet, but there could be. So follow the forestry plan, and then you're not going to be part of that. Whatever you do will not be part of those exceptions. You should make a point of regularly providing positive publicity for your Shade Tree Commission, the Shade Tree Commission program. Talk about why it's so important to have trees in your community, good trees. Now, I mentioned a couple of the areas of conflict between you and homeowners when you have a tree. One are sidewalks. Well, it's going to lift my sidewalk. We don't want that tree there because it's going to lift my sidewalk. In Richfield Park, if a tree roots lift the sidewalks, a person can fill out an application. We have one member of our Shade Tree Commission. This is all, he attends all the meetings, but this is his primary, really his only function. And he goes out, responds to the request. If the sidewalk is being lifted, it's then approved for reimbursement. We have a contractor now that knows exactly what we want. We want the sidewalk slab to be lifted. If it's a big long length of sidewalk, they use the cement saw, they cut it into a sidewalk slab, they pick it up, they trim the roots, and they drop the slab back. And it's on a set price. And we tell the homeowner that if they decide that they want to replace the slab instead of dropping it in place, that's fine. It's a set price. And if they want to do their whole sidewalk over, because a lot of sidewalks over time are cracked and falling apart, the contractor will give them the same price for the entire sidewalk. So the end result is the homeowner's happy because the sidewalk issue is eliminated, and our trees are protected because they're not being butchered by some sidewalk contractors who just cut right into the bottom of the tree and destabilize the tree. Not every contractor is authorized. We actually have one. We had another company for years, like 20 years, but the owner passed away. So we have a new company that is now working with us. So that's what you want to do. And the other major complaint we get from homeowners is it's going to interfere with my sewer line. Well, tree roots are not going in voluntarily into your sewer line or your water line. The only reason they get into the sewer line is because you have an old, cracked line, and it might just be a hair crack, but if water is seeping out, those tree roots, the water is like a magnet to get into those roots, into the sewer line. And we have there's a product called Root X, which our DPW can flush down the sewer line, and the Root X is more of a foam, so it will kill everything within the line and keep the line open. Some people recommend copper sulfate. You flush it down your toilet. The problem is that most of your sewer lines, the water is only on the bottom part of the sewer pipe, so it'll kill all the roots on the bottom, but not on the top. Root X is a foam, and it will foam entirely within that line. So those are a couple of the reasons why people don't want trees. As I said to you earlier, don't be afraid to plant big trees. You know, you can go to a lot of busy cities. Philadelphia is a good example. Even parts of New York and Brooklyn, Newark, they've planted trees in areas where you would think, it's not a good idea. Because we want trees, we want shade trees, not just little baby ornamentals. We want real trees because, you know, cities are known to be heat islands. The heat, the concrete of the buildings and the highways and the streets hold on to the heat, and it becomes a heat island. So the trees will soften, reduce that, and you want to plant trees in as many places as you can. Um, if you're in the shade tree program, you're tree advocates. Advocate in favor of trees. All right? Don't be afraid. Um, You know, a lot of people say, well, I don't really like to talk to people. I'm a little bit shy. Well, I'm a shy person. I know. People say, how could you be shy? I'm a shy person. But the only way you're going to get anything done is to assert yourself, become an advocate, practice. If you're afraid to talk to people, practice at home. Practice do a video until you get good at talking to people. After a while, it's easy. It's easy. Don't forget to, well, look, I appreciate the fact the Shade Tree Federation and the New Jersey Forest Service appreciate the fact that you're all participating in this education program about trees. It's very important. What did I say earlier about the fact, or maybe I didn't say it earlier, New Jersey has 565 municipalities. 565 municipalities. Now, there are some people that say, well, that's extremely inefficient. Why can't we just have maybe 21 municipalities? We have 21 counties, do it all on a big county level. No. New Jersey is known for its home rule attitude. We like the fact that people participate in government. If we have 565 municipalities, that means we have 565 planning boards, boards of adjustment, boards of recreation, shade tree commissions, environmental commissions. We have a ton of people involved in their local community, and that's what we want. So I thank you very much for participating in our democracy. A friend of mine always says that, you know, this is a young democracy. It's a great experiment to see whether or not over time, over the long haul, that human beings can continue to self-govern themselves. Well, New Jersey is a great example of self-governing because we have so many people participating in our government. So thank you very much for doing your patriotic duty. You're participating in our democratic republic. Finally, you know, this conference is on video. It's a killer because when you go to the live conference, you get to meet a lot of people from all over New Jersey who have similar issues to you, maybe completely different issues. You get to talk to everybody, and it's terrific. So hopefully by next year, we're going to be having the conference in person. Please go. I know you're doing the core training now, but it is well worth attending these conferences because you get to talk to other people on shade tree commissions all over the state. Now, one other thing I forgot to mention. You know, we talked all about shade tree commissions and the jurisdiction of shade tree commissions. But a lot of towns don't have commissions. They have shade tree committees, advisory boards. Well, you know, two aspects or differences are shade tree commissions have specific jurisdiction. They have exclusive jurisdiction over the trees, ornamental trees, shade trees, shrubs in the public rights of way, the public streets and highways and so forth. The Shade Tree Advisory Committee does not have that jurisdiction. The other is automatic protection from liability suits. In the statute, the law that I read to you, in the Community Forestry Act, shade tree commissions, shade tree commission members, and then volunteers participating in a community forestry program. They're the protected people. So a shade tree committee technically is not protected. The volunteers are if they're all participating in a community forestry program. So it's really important. It's nice if you have the committee. If that's all you can get your mayor and council to agree on, well, okay, you're stuck. But you really want to have a shade tree commission. So I think in some of the questions you're going to get at the end of this program, that'll be what's the difference between a committee and a shade tree commission? Well, the two big differences are exclusive jurisdiction over trees, the shade tree commission, automatic protection for the commission and its members from liability suits. And the other thing is, and I say this on all topics, um, we all have a tendency to complain and bemoan different issues. We talk about it, we talk about it, we talk about it. Don't talk about it. Just do it. Get it done. So I thank you for your time for listening, and I thank you for volunteering on your shade tree programs in your towns and your counties. And hopefully next year I'll see you live wherever the conference is going to take place. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Whoa, wait, before you go, I forgot one other thing, and that is in my handout, I've given you a list of good tree books, tree identification books. Um, let's just take a look at them briefly, a handful of them. But the main point is you're on a shade tree committee or a shade tree commission, advisory board, whatever you've got there. And when you're on that, people expect you to know about trees. Well, I would strongly suggest that you pick up one of these tree identification books and just learn the basics of how to identify different trees. I know you're not an expert. Even though I love trees and I've studied them my whole life, I'm not really an expert. I know a lot about them. I know a lot about identifying them, but I'm not an expert because I don't do it every day. But you should become familiar with the many of the regular trees that you're going to see in your community. Okay, now I'm going. See you next time.